Hello, hello, hello. Good
Hello, my
morning.
lovely.
Happy Monday. I've got my Christmas cup out. I've got you looking like a gorgeous present. You look beautiful.
I don't have a cuppa, but I do have. So we've got surname obviously Rule, and we in our old house we used to have a bar. Like now outside we've got a bar kind of in the garden, but in our old house we had a basement and we converted it into a bar. And so we've got some pint glasses, and they say Bar Rule. They've
Oh
kind of got
my
inscribed Bar
God,
Rule on them.
that's so cool. I love it. Oh my, when did you move into that house then? How many years has that been?
6 years now into this one. So this one and the last one, we bought them and they looked horrible. They were literally, you'd look at them on Rightmove going, why? Why
Wow.
would you buy that? And then we've just systematically kind of done them up. So now it's all done. But yeah, it took a while.
Oh, I know, but that's the fun, isn't it, though?
It
It's the
is.
fun. Well, I'm here with Tara today. Like, how fabulous is this? This is how all Mondays should start.
Completely, completely.
And then after you, me and Cheryl got to see your time. I've got studying in the day. It's just like, it's a nice way to just ease into the week.
Nice. So I have got only 5 things in my diary that today. This, and then I've already had one coaching session with a client, and then I've got 3 more coaching sessions this afternoon. So I'm like literally a day of coaching and this. So it's like, yay.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing this with us.
Thank
We wanted,
you.
we wanted to get you on because it's been a while since we've done the live together. It feels like
Yeah,
it's been a while.
it
So
has.
Tara is one of our clients, and we've known each other now for, is it 3 years? It might be 4 years going
I
on
think
now.
it was pretty much the year that your business went
It
live.
was big, wasn't it? And it was, so Tara actually, somebody connected us through one of them random, me being tagged on something on LinkedIn because Tara was looking for speakers. And I went down because Tara was in LA and did an
Mhm.
imposter syndrome session at Adobe, which is where Tara was working at the time. And became friends. And then Tara's worked with us. She came up to see us at TEDx last week. So, and it's just been such a journey. And for
Yeah,
us, when we have you on live, it's always that celebration of like that ideal client journey from meeting you in corporate, you having those moments of, well, I'm happy, but is there more?
yeah,
Like being scared to move to just jumping in. So we just thought it's like for us, and it's not, somebody said this to us last week. It's like we want everybody to leave corporate. We don't. We want every woman to be happy doing what she's doing. If that means you leave corporate, great. If it means you're staying there and you're happy, great. Like
yeah,
the goal isn't about the leaving corporate. The goal is designing the life that you want to live. That's
yeah,
the goal.
completely. And I remember when we first spoke, because as you say, we became friends before I was actually a client of yours, and we became friends, and you'd go, come on, I want to get my claws in you. And I would say no, because I'm happy. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm really happy.
yeah.
But I knew there was a niggle. There was a niggle at the back of my mind going, but I think if we work together, I'm going to realize I'm going to be even happier doing something completely different. And I am not ready. Like, not yet,
And
not yet. The
what
day
we
will
did was
come, but not
I'm not
yet.
ready. And I remember you saying
Yeah.
that, like, I know we'll work together, but I'm not ready. And I was like, and I'm here whenever you are. Because,
Yeah.
and I think as coaches, like now you are a coach, we're going to talk about it, but like you are a coach, you have your own business, it's absolutely thriving, super successful. You've had national press coverage about it, for crying out loud. You've been speaking internationally, like in New York of all places. Like
Yes.
how incredible. And it's like life is so different, but as coaches, we can often get in our own heads. I notice this with coaches, like, well, I've
Mm.
tried to sign them up, and then they're not ready. They haven't signed up. It's like that people sign up when they're bloody good and ready, not when you decide it's the right person for that time for that person, right?
Completely. And I do remember, I do kind of force myself to remember it kind of with our situation, because what you were offering wasn't something that go, oh, that's rubbish. Like, no, like that, it was nothing to do with you. It's all about me. And I was going, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I think it was a good 3 or 4, at least 3 years before I suddenly messaged you out of the blue going, okay, I'm in. And it
Yeah,
was all about me. It wasn't suddenly because you'd got a new package or you'd changed something. It was like, it's about me. And when I speak to clients, and if they're going, no, rather than go, oh my God, that means I'm worthless. Like, no, not yet, not right now, not, and that's okay. So, but it's a different mindset, like having that abundance mindset of going, I know for the right people, they'll want to work with me, and that's brilliant. And for others that don't, well, that's cool as well. There's no kind of internal meaning associated to it. I try.
I love that. I love that. But I just think it's a really important message for anyone who's got a business today where they're like, I've got to sell something, or why are people not buying it? It's like, it might, you know, you look, if that person's not ready, there's a million who are. Like, you put your attention on them and don't make it mean anything if they're not buying off you today. It's good.
Completely. And it was fascinating because I was actually I had a phone call with somebody just last week. They're looking for a new role. They've been made redundant, looking for a new role, and it was just like a coffee chat, which ended up obviously, you know, with a little bit of coaching thrown in as well. And they said to me, right, I need to go out and sell me as if I'm selling a product. And I was like, can I just replay back the word selling me? Because it's like, we're not selling me. I'm like, you will be able to add a huge amount of value in another company. And some companies will go, yes, that's the perfect fit. But if you go into an interview going, I'm selling me, or if you go into a discovery call selling me, it's completely different to going, no, I have something, and the right people will say yes to it.
It's a totally different energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hate that feeling like we are selling ourselves, not ever. Yeah. If you're doing an interview or you're going on a sales call with a client, like, it's not, like, it is about chemistry and connection and is it right? Does it feel like a good fit? It's like, yeah, it's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this knowing that we had our chat today. And when we did first meet, I was coming down, wasn't it? It was around this time. It was like October time, November time. And in corporate, I always look at the contrast of how different your life was. And you were so busy right up to Christmas. You had a lot of traveling until Christmas. And now look at you. So with a lovely jumper on, like a ball, looking all chill, doing your calls.
I'm going to be there for the ballet show this year rather than being in Las Vegas, which will be lovely. I'm there for the Carol concert. Yeah, all the things that my corporate job just didn't necessarily allow me to do. So yeah, it's completely different. I literally pinch myself going, this is actually my life.
It's crazy. But again, just to reframe, like, you were like me when I was in hotels all the way up till Christmas. And then I was Chris Rea Driving Home for Christmas was always the song that I wanted on in the car, like the first song when I was coming home, knowing that I wasn't going to go away again for a couple of weeks. It wasn't like I was sat there going, oh my God, I'm missing everything. Like, quite the opposite. Like, you just get on with it, don't you? Like, my choice. I made a lie in it. This is the sacrifice that I make. I miss some things so that I can have. And it's like, now you are there and you're not missing the things and you still have a great life and you still have abundance and it's not like you've had to sacrifice one for the other.
Yeah, completely.
And it's
and it's something that I talk about because it's something that I've learned myself through my own journey, which is we can have success without sacrifice. That's a key thing. And nobody's idea of success is ever going to be the same. But actually helping people figure out, going, what is success for you? What does it look like? And there's no right or wrong. I'm not going to judge you and go, really? Well, it's like same with work-life balance. You know, what work-life balance is for one person is not the same for the other. But often I don't think we're conscious about it. We just go, I'm just doing the doing, rather than stopping and going, so what is success for you? What do you want? Or what is work-life balance to you? What do you want? You go, well, hang on, I've never really thought about that. I've just kind of gone. So it's stopping and thinking and going. And then once you've thought about what you want, you can achieve it. And you don't have to sacrifice everything. But unless you've thought about what you want in the future, you're never really going to necessarily achieve it.
And we don't think about it. And I think about this all of the time, Tara. I remember being in the hotel right up till Christmas, and I would make the best of it. I would go shopping to the traffic centre, I got loads of presents while I was there, and then do some wrapping and stuff when I got home. And like I said, I wasn't sitting sort of, oh God, hit me. I just didn't really believe there was an alternative because I didn't ask myself those questions of, well, what would you look like? What would success feel like? I didn't tune into what was possible for me.
Yeah.
And there was this little niggling fear that if I did, it would make me so sad that I couldn't have it, that it would be overwhelming. So it's almost like I just didn't want to look at it.
Yeah.
And people would say, why don't you start a country? I go, don't be silly. Like, I've got a job, I've got responsibilities. I haven't got time for all this daydreaming, namby-pamby. That's what I used to say.
Yeah.
Because I was so scared that I would like open Pandora's box and not be able to put the lid back on again.
Completely. And the thing that I used to say to myself was, whenever somebody said, "Oh, you're such an amazing coach, would you ever leave and do it full time?" I'd go, "No, I'm not an entrepreneur." And it kind of, now that I've had this self-awareness of like limiting beliefs and that I'm in a critic, I'm like, I would literally say out loud, I am not an entrepreneur. Let's just shoot down anybody that tells me that I'd be good at it. Nope, not an entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur. And then once we started working together, I realized that I was saying this thing and I'm like, oh.
And I really believe in it, but not
Yeah.
even, and it's not, and this is like, Tara and I would love you to really get this today, like for however it's shown up in your life, of whether it's about I'm not an entrepreneur, or I'm not good at business, or I'm not good at speaking, or I'm not a writer, I could never write a book, like whatever it is, you don't, limiting beliefs often show up in such a concrete way that you just think it's how life is. You
Yeah.
don't actually realize it's just a way you've been thinking and seeing yourself that's kind of keeping you stuck in a little box. It's just that you're like, well, no, I'm not an entrepreneur. Like I do, that's what I do. I'm really good at that. And you were so confident. You know, people go, "Oh, is everyone not confident?" I'm not. It's like, no, you were super confident in that lane, in that field, in that game. You knew you were in your A game. So it wasn't like you came going, "Oh, I'm just not confident." Like it wasn't like that, was it?
Yeah, no, completely. Yeah. And it's funny because somebody said to me the other day, I'm trying to think who it was, not that it matters, but somebody said to me just literally a couple of days ago, she said, "You've shown that you can do it a different way," because I spent 2 years working on my mindset. So for me, I'm there going, had a successful career. I was commercial director. I did sales leadership. So there's a lot of like the qualities, and I did strategy and things. So I knew, you know, for me, it wasn't about how do you set up a business and how do you run a successful business. I knew how to run a successful business. But to me, it was the belief. Could I actually be an entrepreneur? Am I good enough? So I spent 2 years working on my mindset, but I'd set my leave date. I was like, I'm 18 months. I was like, I'm leaving in 18 months. And I had my date. And then I spent those 2 years working on my mindset. So when I left my corporate job, it was 7 months ago now. When I left my corporate job, the amount of people that said to me, "You're so brave, you're so brave." And I'm literally there going, I don't feel brave at all. There's nothing here that makes me go, "Oh, I'm taking a big leap." I'm there going, because I had so much confidence, which I never used to have, that inner confidence. I'd look it, but I didn't have it inside. I had so much confidence. I'm going, there's no part of me that thinks I'm being brave. I've figured out what I love doing. I know I'm good at it. I know I'm going to be successful, and I'm doing it. That's got nothing to do with bravery. But it's funny, like it's because we worked together for 2 years going, right, let's get that sorted. Like the strategy will come. But let's get that sorted.
It's so true. And one of the other girls was saying that at the Chateau, wasn't she? She was saying she'd seen all these business courses when she knew she wanted to leave a corporate job, like at the beginning of the year, but she's like, I knew I had to work with you first.
Yeah.
Because I knew I just throw money away on like how to build this and do that and do that. And I wouldn't be able to do it because I didn't believe it would actually happen and that I'm good enough to do that in that field. Again, very successful in corporate, but she couldn't see herself as the entrepreneur of her own coaching business.
Yeah. Completely.
And I love listening to you and hearing you speak about it, because also while it might sound like a long time, the plan, this 18-month exit strategy, it was nailed, wasn't it? And it flew because you were laying the groundwork, laying the foundations, and the result being that when you then were able to exit, it wasn't like we had this dip in income, or it was like you were going up and up and up and up and up. So you didn't do this whole white knuckle and scared, will it work? It was so inevitable by the time you left, and you'd already earning money through your business. You're already in that role, had international speaking gigs booked. So it wasn't this scary, oh God, am I doing the right thing? We'd already done all of that.
Yeah.
Before you, like at the decision point, right?
Yeah, completely. And I do a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, and I quite often go into my old office and see people. I'm doing workshops at Adobe still, and coaching clients that work at Adobe. And whenever I go in, people go, "Oh, I love following your stuff on LinkedIn, following your journey." And somebody said that it's nice to see that you don't have to hustle. Like literally, you've stepped out and you've got this successful business. And they're like going, "Oh," because so often it's people going, "Oh, right, I really had to try hard," and like the doom and the gloom. It's like, it doesn't have to be that way. And I think I was really fortunate. I'm not saying lucky, because that's my inner
No.
critic, but I am really fortunate that I loved my corporate job. So I wasn't there going, I have to get out, like, get me out of it. It wasn't like that. I loved it, but I realized there was something that I loved even more. So I was able to do both at the same time and still have that high vibe, high energy, not going, oh my God, can I get through another kind of business review? I was like, no, it's cool. I like this. And so, yeah, but it's just, I was talking to a client this morning going, the more you know you, the more you know what your values are, what's important to you, what makes you happy, the happier you will be. And that's really it.
It's the self-awareness, isn't it? It's like the know thyself. So for you, when you were in corporate, you had this, you loved the coaching element of it. And like senior leaders, which is what I experienced, you actually got to coach less and less. So you created the bandwidth, didn't you, to do more coaching within your role and to offer coaching, and because you knew that's how you could add a huge ton of value to the leadership.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, if I love this, what it would be like if I was doing this all the time. And our jobs are teaching us something. Our life is always teaching us. What are the elements you love? And what if you were doing that 90% of the time instead of 10% of the time?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm looking at my diary now going, 4 coaching sessions and this. Fabulous.
Wonders in our world. Tell us about the speaking gig though, because we've got to talk about the helicopter. Like, learning how to manifest has been a big thing, hasn't it? Working with us, it was like learning, understanding how the universe works, how we create through our mind, through thought, into form. You have loved that element of working with us, haven't you? Really,
completely.
Creates.
So I think there's 2 things that come to mind with that kind of international gig. One was, like, when I was setting up my company name, I was procrastinating. Like, there's no questions. I was procrastinating about what fancy name should I have as my business. And then I'm there going, seriously, I have a paid client and I need to send them an invoice, and therefore I need to register something on Companies House. Stop procrastinating. But one of the names that I was throwing around was like Toril International, because I'm there going, I know I'm going to be an international coach. This first client is in the UK, but international is there. I ended up going with just Toril Limited because, as I say, the procrastination was far too high.
I remember that day.
It's like Toril Limited is now the business. Like, but international was a word that I was going, I think I want international in it because I know I'm going to be an international coach. And then, so that was the first bit of where it started, and that belief never went away. And then, so I was flown out to New York to do a workshop on influencing skills, and it was fantastic. I loved it. It was amazing, really, really good. But about a week before, I was on holiday with my friend, and she said, "Oh, have you ever been on a helicopter?" I was like, "No, I'd quite like to. Yeah, I'd like to go on a helicopter one day, but I've never done it." About 3 days later, I had an email from the airline going, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a complimentary helicopter transfer from JFK to Manhattan." And I'm there going, "Accept?" So I got a free helicopter transfer. My friend's like, "I hate you. Like, can you manifest a bit for me as well?"
It was such a beautiful example of manifesting, because it was the same with your business and everything. It was like you wanted it and you're excited about it, but you weren't getting hung up on it had to happen, or it meant something if you didn't. And that's where oftentimes when people ask us about manifesting, they're hanging on really tightly, and you have to hang on really loosely. It has to be like, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then just let it go.
Yeah, definitely. And I often think, because in the whole kind of woo spectrum, I think I'm on the least kind of the lower level of woo of your clients. But I still have that belief. And when I talk about manifesting, to me, I think there's 3 elements. There's the first bit, which is you have to see it. So there has to be something you go, I can see it. So me stood on a TED stage, like, I can see it. I absolutely have that vision of me stood on a TED stage with the black background, the red. Then there's a believing it. So you see it first, then you believe it. And I'm there going, there is no question that I am going to do a TED Talk. It came a little bit closer when I saw you, and I've now got a photo of me on the TED stage as well.
Yes.
But then the third step is about taking inspired action. So it's not about going, right, come on then, universe, like, where's this? Once you believe it, you start taking inspired action. And I know kind of within a few days of me believing that I was going to do a TED Talk, a Facebook group suggestion came up going, TED Talks kind of, and I was like, oh, I'm going to join that Facebook group. So it's about then taking inspired action. I've read a book about like talking and doing TED Talks and things. So it's taking that inspired action that gets you one step closer, and I know it will happen. It's on my not now list. I've got a to-do list and I've got a not now list. It's on the not now, but I know it will happen. I know it will happen one day.
Like the not now list, I call like the universe's job. Like that's the universe's list. It can create that whenever it's ready.
Completely, yeah. And as you say, it's not going, right, so when am I going to do it next year? Am I going to do it in 2 years' time? Where's it? It's like, no, now it will happen.
And divine timing. Cheryl's just saying on her, I haven't put the things up. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's lovely having you with us. If you've got any questions for me or Tara, ping them over.
Yeah, I hadn't seen them either. Hi.
Yeah. Letty, we've got our Chateau Vibe sisters in here. And so are you, Jane. And Cheryl's saying you still love a plan. I mean, you still love a plan. You're not as spreadsheet oriented as you used to be, but
no. And I did used to love a plan. Cheryl would go, right, okay, so what are we going to be doing? I was like, right, so first thing I need to do is create an Excel spreadsheet with 20. She's like, or we could just go to bed visioning it. I'm like, what?
Without a to-do list and an action and the next 3 steps. And
but you know what?
The thing for you though, because it's like naturally, hi Joanne, it's like a naturally hard thing for you to do, isn't it? To not know the how.
Yeah.
We teach you not to worry about the how so much, and you were like, I'll need to know.
Yes, I'm a qualified accountant. I need a spreadsheet. So what I have now, how I work now, because I have changed, but there's still that element within me, is so I've got a whiteboard here. I've got my vision board next to me. Above it is my whiteboard. And my whiteboard, I wrote when there was 3 months left of the quarter. So I was like, right, I had a CEO day, and I was like, right, what is my focus for the rest of the year? And I wrote, grow my audience, write an amazing book, record my online program, build some more corporate conversations, and give amazing experience to my one-to-one and group clients. And that was it.
Love it.
Like, there you go. And it's there. So I'm going, right, are the actions that I'm doing every week, are they aligned to those things?
Yeah.
Because it's like, rather than going, and then every Monday I do sit down and go, right, what are the most important things that I want to focus on?
Yeah, which comes back again to the clarity of the vision of where do I want to be this time in 12 months or 6 months or 3 months, and just focused on that, and then the rest pops up and flows into your everyday life.
Exactly.
Oh, like if there was one woman sat now watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, wherever, who was where you were when we met like 4 or 5 years ago, sitting going, it's not that I hate my job, I'm very grateful for it. And yes, I don't get to see my kids or have a life. I go to the pictures in the middle of the week, and yes, I'm drinking and eating more than I should because it's a bit stressful, but like I'm powering through, and it's like, this is I've made me better line it. Like, what would you say to her?
So I would probably say, do spend some time doing some of that inner work to go, what makes you happy? Like, what really makes you happy? What are the bits that you go, oh, I love it. You set me a challenge, which was to write down, wouldn't it be fun if? And the same thing, what makes you happy? Like, wouldn't it be fun if I was coaching all the time? Wouldn't it be fun if I was as good a coach as those that I admire, like Donna and Cheryl? Like, wouldn't it be fun if I wrote a book? Wouldn't it be fun if I did a TED Talk? And I wrote it years ago, and I could tick most of them off now. So I think there's one bit just going, allow yourself to go, wouldn't it be fun if? And just dream a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to take that action, to go, okay, I want to figure it out. When we started, my goal was, I want to write a business plan so that if I decide to leave in 5 years' time, I've got a plan. And within 3 months, I had my first paid client. So it's like, oh, okay, that went a bit quicker than I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think figure out what makes you happy. Don't be afraid to say yes to kind of that next level of really understanding you. And I think the element of going, trust, have faith that what's meant to be is meant to be. And when the timing feels right, go all in.
Oh, and I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad. I still have the message, right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of questions, remember?
That's the thing. The funny thing is, when I tell the story, I said, right, and for me, the trigger was I actually read a book. And the book asked a question, which is, what's the worst case scenario for your career in 5 years' time? And the book made me stop for like 2 days and just really reflect on that question. And I went, the worst case was being a vice president at my current company, still writing slide decks. And then I was like, oh, no, that's really harsh. That's because that is not a worst case for, for a career. But it was obviously there. It was in my mind going, I don't want to be doing this in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
And so then I went, no, the worst case would be to try coaching and failing. And then I went, no, the worst case would to be I've never tried coaching because I was too scared of failing. So then in my mind, I text, I'm in, and that's it. I joined the elite and I spent the year, it took a couple of years. I was like, oh, yeah. But Donna and I met up recently, and Donna went, no, let me just remind you how it went. I said I'm in, followed by 1,000 messages going, so exactly what days do we meet and how much is it? And what exactly is this? And what do we do? And what should I expect by that? And how did, you're like, seeing a little bit of fear here.
There's the accountant, she's back. But it's all fear, and we often want all this detail and this minutiae, and actually it's like the big picture is just so much more important, isn't it? Of like what's the goal, what we're trying to get to here. Just trust the process.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of when you work, whether it's with us, whether you work with someone like you, Tara, whether it's like when you go and work with someone, sometimes as like alpha type women, we're very like, we want to know. And sometimes it is a case of just stepping in and handing it over and saying, I'm prepared to be guided.
Yeah.
Because every bit of us has resistance to that. But sometimes it's okay as women, that the women that we are, to put yourself in someone else's hands, still taking charge and driving your own boat, of course, but just to be a little bit more in flow with the process and just trusting that it's all working out like it should. That's what you're paying for.
Exactly. And one of the, because I choose not to talk too much about money. Like, I chose not to talk too much about money when I earn a decent corporate salary. Now when I'm coaching, I'm there going, money isn't my driver, so I don't tend to talk about it that much. But one of my massive celebrations, and I will share here because yes, why not? It's a place to celebrate. Is I set myself a goal to become VAT registered this year. So I left at the end of April. So 1st of May, I started kind of full time in my business as CEO and founder of my own business. And I set myself a goal to become VAT registered by the end of this year. So it basically means that you have to hit some financial milestones. I'm a bit of a geek, as you say. I'm an accountant by trade. So, it's a weird goal that I set myself to become VAT registered. Anyway, here is my VAT approved letter that I got from the fat man.
Yes.
So yeah, I did it. I achieved it 6 weeks early. And, it's just amazing to go, there's so much doom and gloom in the press about, cost of living and how hard everything. And I know it's really, there's a lot of horribleness, but I just want to kind of share there's a lot of good as well. And when you believe in yourself, I know I'm positively impacting people. And that's why I do what I do. But yeah, just hopefully that will inspire others. If you're there going, could you actually make a living from doing stuff that I'm really passionate about and doing good? Yes.
I've got that message as well. Can I really repeat myself? Yes.
Well, even what was it, about 2 months before I was leaving my corporate life, I text Donna going, Donna, very personal question. Can I ask you exactly how much do you earn every single month? Can I really? And Donna's like, again, sensing a little bit of fear here. And I was like,
I could answer, but I feel like that might not help you right now. But it is, and whilst the money is important, I did a post about it yesterday saying money is the lag indicator. But the reality is, when we are women who are paying the mortgage and the main breadwinners, a lot of the time, the kind of women that we work with, you have to know that it's actually real, and you're going to be able to, because we're scared of having the family live in the car. Like it's, and we tell ourselves all these crazy stories. So I'm celebrating your financial success, the success that your clients are having, and the bigger ripple impact that you're now having in the world, because you're doing what you love doing full time. And the energy when we're with you just is so loud and beautiful and vibrant, and it smells like success, and I just friggin' love it. So Thank you. I'm always grateful to Barry for tagging us on that post that day, because we've got for life from it, and somebody who we just love working with, and it's our honor to have like front row seats to say Tara Rule do her thing.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I came into both of your worlds. So thank you.
We love you, and make sure you join Tara on LinkedIn or wherever you're at. Make sure you go and say hi if you watch this and connect with us. Some amazing stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, and on Instagram I'm on Tara Rule Coaching as well. So find me there.
And she's just sold another Black Friday bundle, just a little notification just pinging in there as we're dialing in.
Yeah, just we dialed in. I was like, oh, I've just had another person join my Black Friday bundle. So yay.
I love it. And if you want to speak to me or Cheryl, right now today is the deadline for requesting a personal coaching assessment. So if you're serious about wanting to do what Tara's done, or wherever you're at and you want to work with us, you've got today to request a call with us to do that. So just drop me a message and say, yes, please, and I will give you the info. So Tara, have a fabulous week. Enjoy the rest of your coaching calls, and we will see you again live soon. Love you.
Love you. Bye. Thank you.